This is really a video that I wish I could give to my younger self because we take life so seriously, and today I want to share with you why you should take life less seriously, the impact it has had in my own life, how I did it, why it's actually so important, because nothing is a big deal. We make a big deal out of things that are quite frankly meaningless. And so today's topic is all about having more fun, being more playful, not being so controlling, not being a perfectionist, all of those things, because when you learn to let go, when you learn to find the meaning in the present moment and just become playful and less serious, that does not mean not reliable. I will go into the detail with this. It will change your entire life because it has changed mine, and I wish I had learned this earlier in life. So if you are new here, welcome. This is just a style of content that I make. I paint as I talk because it helps me to get into a flow state and it gives you guys better content. So I really was inspired to make this video because I started recently to just have more fun, and I've had more fun in the last week than I've had like in the last several years. And I want to share with you what I did to do that and the impact it has had in my own life, because when you are taking everything so seriously, we're usually stuck in our brains, and this is not your fault, by the way, okay? I want you to know this first, because we're actually wired. We have this survival mechanism in our biology, because back in the days, and I've heard this on a podcast, like a scientific podcast, that the reason we tend to overcomplicate things and take life so seriously is because we are kind of wired to look out for danger and to run away from danger. The only thing is that we find danger in things that are actually safe. We overthink, and if you are having problems with overthinking, being controlling, being a perfectionist, it's because you are probably finding importance in places that don't actually have such heavy importance, because you have not learned how to do anything else. You were never taught how to do anything else, and because you don't know anything else, that's just what you do. So personally for me, the way I actually started to have more fun, it was when I changed my hair color. And I want to share with you one of the most powerful ways you can do this is by simply shifting your identity and how you see yourself. Because what happened was, I used to be a dirty blonde slash light brunette, mostly like dirty blonde, and I decided to be a redhead, which I have to dye my hair again soon. And someone told me that redheads have more fun, and oh my god, is this true? I've only been a redhead for like 3 weeks, and my entire life has changed because I had changed my personality, I had changed my identity, and I decided that I no longer wanted to be this old person that I was. I literally feel like I died and I was reborn. I had a whole ceremony for letting my old self go. But the point is that I became someone else, and everyone can do this. You can at any moment choose to become someone else, and you can choose to let go of this personality and identity of being someone who's controlling and takes life so seriously. Because the funny thing is, really, when we leave this earth, if you look at 80-year-olds, the old grandmas, right? They don't take life seriously. They say the older you get, the more you return to your inner child, because it's you kind of realize that life is not that serious. What people say is not that serious. The things that people they tell you and the meaning that you give it doesn't actually hold that big of a meaning. And it's just that you have been trained in your brain to search for potential dangers. We are just wired like this. It's in our biology. We search out things that are potentially dangerous in order to survive. And we're just wired this way. And when there's no more big animals chasing us, we project this quality onto everyday things. And it's really a habit. It's really about breaking that habit of being yourself and becoming someone who has more fun. And when I tell you this changed my life, this really has. Because for the longest time, and again, I attribute this to changing my hair color, because when I did that, it's almost like I became an entirely new person. And I just feel like I want to be unhinged and free, and I've been doing that, and life is so much more fun. But it all comes down to listening to your own gut. Of course, you don't want to overdo this. You don't want to fling to the other side. But right now I'm speaking to a person you're too much in your shell. You're literally too much in your shell. You're overthinking too much. You are too much in your head. You have to get out of your head and into your body. And it's gonna be a practice and a choice and a habit, and mostly an identity shift. Because if you are someone who thinks that what people say can hurt you. What people say is so important, and you dramatize things. You're like, oh my God, what if people don't like me? Oh my God, what will people think? Oh my God, what if I get rejected? Oh my God, what if I fail? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. It's because you are in your head and you think that this thing is a question of survival. And you're not doing this consciously. It's subconscious. It's in our wiring to subconsciously see these situations as a matter of survival when they're really not. Like other people's opinions, other people's acceptance, and even you doing things right, even you succeeding, is not a matter of survival. Because you are not this body, you are in this body, you are having an experience on earth for a certain time period. And I could go into spiritual concepts, and I have not fully decided how spiritual I want to make my channel just yet. But what I will say is that we can all agree that you are on this earth for a time period. You're having an experience, and that clock is ticking. And you're not just here to survive. You're not here to take every single thing so serious and be stuck in your head and in your ego, thinking that whatever you are going to do is going to make it or break it, or if people leave you, it's the end of the world. Listen, it's not the end of the world. You have the power to go and be free. And I titled my channel Free Spirit because I feel like I have freed myself so much. I used to be such a control freak. I was so type A. I was so insecure. I was so shy. I was just another person back in the college days. And and I freed myself so much. And a lot of that really came from just shifting my identity to being another person. And you can give yourself permission, which, by the way, the noises outside totally agree with me right now, that the way you break out of it is, you could do a lot of things. You could do affirmations, you could do meditations, but the fastest way is just decide that you want to be someone else. And for me personally, what happened is that I really reached a point where I didn't want to be on this earth. But what I realized, and I saw this in one of the videos, and I don't know whom to give credit for this, but what I realized is that it's not that I don't want to be on this earth. I don't want to be this character anymore. And I don't know if this video is really making any sense, but I just really felt inspired to make it because I know that, being controlling and being always so serious, if you enjoy that, by all means, there is definitely a place for responsibility. There is a place for being serious, but that comes from, basic human things. Like, of course, you don't want to neglect basic responsibilities like paying your rent, paying your whatever bills you have, right? You want to be responsible with those, but you don't want to overdo it to the point where you forget that you are on earth one time and you need to go and have the experiences you want to have. Because honestly speaking, when you're 80 or 90 years old and you don't know how many days you have left, you're not going to look back being like, oh my God, I was saved, I survived. No, you're going to be like, did I live? Did I have fun? Did I do all the weird things that people will judge me for? Did I have fun? Did I experience? Did I follow my gut? And I've done some things recently that I was like, what? My gut was telling me to go with it. And I was like, I'm feeling crazy right now. I'm feeling very crazy. I should not be doing this. And the chances are you will go through this too. But if you actually go with it and you allow yourself to follow your heart, even when your brain is like, what are you doing? If your heart says it, again, you can start small. Don't take this so seriously and become completely reckless. Do what you want. Okay, this is your life. But start small, little things, little things that you feel called to do that will add more fun and joy in your life. Because, you're not here to just always be safe and always just survive. Because, again, balance for everything, but I'm speaking to someone who's too much in your box. Okay, you have to break out of that box. You have to break out of that shell and realize that, you can live your life the way you're living it. But are you really happy with it? That's the question. The question is not what you should or should not be doing. The question is, are you happy? I'm sorry if I sound a little bit nasally. I'm feeling under the weather, probably because of all the fun I've been having. I may have pushed my body a little bit far. But the point is that, are you happy? That's the question you want to ask yourself. And if you're not happy, maybe it's because you're being too controlling and you're thinking that every single thing in life is a matter of survival. Like maybe you're thinking that your boss's approval or maintaining your job is a matter of survival, but like it's not. Universe is abundant. There's so much in the universe that you will never be left in an empty space. Life will never leave you hanging, okay? No matter what happens, you will be okay, you know? Like you're not gonna fail. As long as you're following your heart, just enjoy and have fun in life, because I really wish I knew this when I was younger. And even honestly just a few weeks ago, because even when I was blonde, I was very much in my head and I felt a calling in my heart to do certain things, and I said, but it doesn't make sense, you know. And I'm gonna say that your ego is also in your head. Sometimes we are in our heads because we are in our ego, because we are overthinking it too much. And I thought, oh my God, but I can't. My ego was like, why, what the fuck? You know? But I reached a breaking point. Again, a lot of the stuff that I'm sharing with you, I learned the hard way by simply reaching a breaking point. And I don't want you to have to reach a breaking point, okay? Please learn from the fact that I sometimes neglected myself. I've neglected my intuition to the point where I was forced to follow it. And I don't want you to have to reach that point, because it's a very difficult place to be and it's not fun emotionally. But you don't have to reach it if you learn to follow and listen to your intuition and your heart early on. It's because my life changed when I decided to have more fun. I'm happier, I feel more free, I feel less attached. I don't really care about stuff anymore as much as I used to. I feel so relaxed. I'm like, what's meant to happen will happen. I just don't care. And paradoxically, I feel like there's so much more synchronicities and stuff aligning to where I'm like, wow, I never knew that this is possible. And so, and I want you to experience that too. I want you to live your best life and I want you to be happy. And I don't want you to live in your head, because, you know, you have a choice every single day. I can't make you change, and you're not gonna feel comfortable, especially when you first start. A lot of it will not feel comfortable and you will not feel on board with it in your mind. Your mind is not going to agree with you when you first start following your heart, because your mind is going to be stuck in the old conditionings. So you have to be willing to be uncomfortable, because when you're willing to be uncomfortable, paradoxically what you will discover is that that's where the magic is. Okay? The magic is not in staying the same. The magic is in letting go of the old programmings and trying something new, okay? Try new things, do new things. If you don't know where to start, do something you've never done before. Never done. You're like, what? I've never done this before. I would never, speaking again from things I've done, I'm like, I would never do this. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, I would never do that, and that's the point. The old you would never do that. And there's so much freedom to be found in taking actions and going after things that you never thought you would do, because it breaks your old personality and there's so much space that opens up in your heart. And I have felt so much more in my heart than I have ever felt, because sometimes when we are in our heads, we have our heart closed. And when we have our heart closed, you're not able to experience life fully. You know, and I don't really see the point in living life in just surviving, because at some point, like, you reach a point you're like, why am I even here? That's the point I reached. I don't know if that's the point you ever reached. You're questioning, like, why am I even here on this earth? Am I just here to like exist and survive? Like, what does my existence even mean? You get to decide what your existence means. You get to decide what you make of it. And if you ever do reach that place where you question, like, why am I even here? Just try new things, have fun, give yourself the permission to be happy, and give yourself the permission to do the things you've never done before, because that's the key to changing your personality. It's becoming someone else. You can change your appearance if you feel like that will help you. You can change the way you communicate. You can change the way you think. You can do affirmations. You can do mirror work. There's so many things you can do. Mirror work just means like you I mean, this might sound a little bit crazy, but basically talk to yourself, okay? I talk to myself a lot. Of course, I post these videos, but there are so much videos that I don't post that I just make of speaking to myself. Like, I make videos where I just talk to myself, and I have a catalog of it, and I look at it and I'm like, wow, okay, this is a reminder for me. And it's like, you get to know yourself more, and you get to constantly choose to redefine who you are and talk to yourself. How do you talk to yourself? What's your self-talk? What's this voice in your head like? Make friends with that too. You know, and whatever that permission slip for you is, because sometimes changing the physicals in order for us to change our identity is just a permission slip. You know, it gives you permission to become someone else, to do something else. For me personally, I changed my appearance, and I walked by a mirror the other day and I did not recognize myself. I walked by, I was just like casually doing something. I walked by and I was like, who's this? And then I said, you know what? I did something right. Because I don't know about you. I mean, if you like being the same way you are, then enjoy. But when you can look yourself in the mirror and you can say, I don't recognize myself anymore, you know you've done something right as far as reinventing yourself goes. And you can reinvent yourself to become anyone that you want to be, literally anybody. And personally, again, I'm just in a phase of being unhinged and free and having fun, and maybe it is largely because that's the title of my channel. It's being a free spirit, because that's why we are here. You are a free spirit. You are all, whoever is watching this, I want you to know right now, you are free in your spirit. If you can break the chains of the mind, the only one imprisoning you is your mind. And some of us have very strong minds. I had a very strong mind to the point where, like, literally when I first started to drink, I don't know how old I was, like probably 20. I don't remember when I had my first drink. It was in college. And I was such a bad drunk that I did not lose any of my inhibitions. Like, I became drunk to the point of passing out, and I remained controlled of myself the entire time. Like, I couldn't possibly do stupid things or make stupid decisions because I was that controlling of myself, to where I couldn't let go. So I had a very strong mind, and eventually my brain was broken. There is a video I made on how I forgot how to speak. You can watch that if you want. But eventually, you know, I learned to let go, to where now I kind of just allow myself to be and just observe what my human will do. And that is so much more fun, because like sometimes it's like, yeah, it's good to predict, yeah, it's good to know what will happen next, but you know what's even better? Is going with the flow and seeing like what life will give you next. How will things unfold? What will happen next? And the way you can do this that will give you the most preferable experience is listen to your heart, listen to your gut, not the brain. Because when you listen to the brain, you get a result that is based on logic and linear reality, which is not very fun. Again, sorry if I'm sounding nasally. I feel a little bit under the weather, but I just want to record because I'm not going to be able to record probably tomorrow I'll record again, but like, you know, the main message is, I hope you get from this video, is that, you know, you came here to be free. You didn't come here to be constrained or just to survive. You are here to thrive and live your best life, and I want you to do that. And whether or not you choose to, it is up to you. But that choice is so simple to make. It's literally a decision away to redefine yourself to be someone who is that way, who is free, who follows their heart, who is a little bit unhinged. And again, like, if you're watching this, you're probably a lot in your head. I don't know that, but I'm assuming it because I used to be like that. And I know that getting out of your head and into the body is one of the best things you can do for yourself. And some things that can help you with that too is just literally be more physical, move your body more, okay? Listen to your gut. But ultimately, you know, that's always your choice, and you can do it one step at a time, one tiny decision at a time. If you cannot do it with big things, start small. Do something ridiculous that you feel like it's out of your comfort zone. And I think that's also a thing too, like you want to start doing things that are out of your comfort zone, because when you become someone who identifies with being a person who consistently is out of their comfort zone, what you will notice is that soon what was out of your comfort zone becomes the new comfort. It becomes a new place of joy and fun and excitement and presence to where you never thought was possible. I'm sorry if that didn't make any sense. Sometimes I say things and they just come out of my mouth. So once you break out of your comfort, like that's where the fun is, that's where the magic is, and that's when you start to have more fun, because what you realize is when you start breaking out of your comfort zone one step at a time, what you realize is no one is judging you. No one is watching you. No one is on the other end being like, oh my God, look at this person. What is she wearing? No one is doing that. You're the only one who believes that people will do that. And the funny thing is, like, the more you actually dare to pursue what will make you happy and to pursue what people will judge you for and put yourself in that place, the more you will see that actually no one's thinking about you to the degree that you think they are. Most people are primarily self-focused and they focus on themselves. And the way you think that people will judge you, it's because like you think everyone is thinking about you, but they're not. They're thinking about themselves. And they are in their own head worried about if they're being judged. And even if they do judge you, they're probably projecting their own insecurities onto you. So it's not that big of a deal. And the more you find proof and start doing things that you feel like people will judge you for, and you see that no one is judging you for it, the more you're like, wow, I can do whatever I want and no one cares, because everyone's living in their own little bubble and I'm actually free. And you get to that point by choosing to do the stuff that you want to do, but you're probably not comfortable doing because you've just never done it before, okay? Feeling of discomfort, feeling of like, oh, I don't know if I can do this, I'm unsure, lack of confidence, lack of security, it's just because you've never done it before. It's just new for you, okay? That's it. Confidence comes with practice. Confidence comes with repetition. It comes with doing that thing multiple times. And when you do it multiple times, you become confident. I was not confident on camera at all, okay? I've had multiple channels, I've made multiple videos, and I was not comfortable at all on camera, like at all. It's just like, it's something that the more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it. It's just about being willing to take those initial steps and sit with that discomfort long enough for that discomfort to become your new comfort zone. So I hope that this video was helpful. I'm sorry if it doesn't really have a solid structure, or if it doesn't make that much sense. But I hope that you got something out of this video. I hope it was helpful for you. And if you have any other content suggestions, the comments section is always available for those, because my goal is to share with you the things that I can help you with, not just what I want to share. I mean, it's a mix of both, but if there's anything you want to see or hear more of, comment down below. With that said, sending you lots of love. I hope this was helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.